Hi everyone, I'm Dawn. Welcome to my channel. Thank you for visiting with me today. I have my mouse ears on, so you know what that means. Disney video. So I have for you Disney tips. Like, these are my best tips for now. I may have more. I had more, but I had to scale down my list because this video is going to be long enough as it is. So these are Disney tips for Walt Disney World, specifically in Orlando, Florida. So if you're planning a trip there, listen to these tips. It's for you. And hopefully you find, some help in what I have to say. And this is just information I've gathered just going there and things I've figured out, just because that's the best way of learning, just doing it and messing up and then figuring out what you need to fix. So the first thing is for my coffee drinkers. Tip number one, the transportation and ticket center at the Magic Kingdom and possibly the other parks, I don't know for sure because I never really noticed it before, but there's a Joffrey's at the Transportation and Ticket Center, and there's usually hardly any wait at all. If you want to get a coffee, it's best to get a coffee there and not waiting at all rather than waiting until you get to Magic Kingdom. Like, you're going to take your monorail or your ferry and go to the Magic Kingdom. It's better to get your coffee before hopping on that monorail or ferry and then go into the Magic Kingdom rather than waiting until you get to the Magic Kingdom and like trying to go into Starbucks or something, because you are going to wait in a line for that Starbucks. No matter what time of day it is, there's going to be a line at Starbucks. And you're going to wait in lines there, but I would just think you'd rather wait in lines for the attractions and the rides rather than coffee. But I guess that depends on how much you love Starbucks coffee. And next, number two, my number two tip is disabled parking. It's regarding disabled parking. If you or your disabled loved one is not in a wheelchair, like if their disability doesn't require them to be in a wheelchair, I recommend just parking in regular parking and taking the Disney transportation to the park, specifically Magic Kingdom, because they have the tram. There's no real benefit to parking in disabled parking unless you have someone in a wheelchair, because it's closer, but it's not so much closer that it's really that much of a convenience. It's definitely convenient for those in a wheelchair because then you don't have to worry about getting them on the tram and everything. But if you or your disability disabled family member or friend doesn't have a wheelchair or need a wheelchair, I suggest just parking in that regular parking and taking that tram or whatever transportation they have, if they have any. Um, Now, if you're disabled and you require a wheelchair, but you're still walking, you don't need a wheelchair immediately, but when you get into the park, you're going to rent one, I still recommend parking in regular parking and taking the transportation. Or just walk up if it's like a park where you can just walk up. Um, because it's going to be a long walk anyway from disabled parking. This is regarding Disney Springs. I saw this question a lot, like, can you park at Disney Springs and take transportation to the parks so you can park for free? Because parking at Disney Springs is free. No, you can't do that. Now, you can if you really wanted to. I think it's a waste of time. I'd rather just pay for the parking. But if you really are hell bent on parking at Disney Springs and taking transportation to a park, you can park at Disney Springs, take a bus to one of the resorts, and then take that resort's transportation to whatever park you wanted to go to. But that's just too much. It's going to be a lot better to just park at your park because, first of all, the parking garages and parking lot at Disney Springs isn't open 24 hours and may not keep the same hours as the parks. And also, if you want to experience rope drop in any of your parks, you're going to have to get there early. So you're not going to be able to park, more than likely, you're not going to be able to park at Disney Springs early enough to get on that bus to a resort and then take a transportation from the resort to the theme park you want to go to. It's just a lot easier and a lot better for you to just pay for the parking and park at the theme park. Now, if you are a guest at a theme park, you won't pay for the parking, and then you could still take that transportation from your resort to the theme park and not, cut out Disney Springs entirely. But there really is no benefit to parking at Disney Springs to try and get, excuse me, I burped. There is no real benefit to parking at Disney Springs to try to get to one of the theme parks. It's just way too convoluted, and it's just not necessary. It's too much, really, it is. And let's see. Number 4, this should be a no-brainer, but I know people bring sunscreen no matter what time of the year it is, and bring like a lip balm with sunblock on it. Um, Trust me, even if it's cloudy out, you need sunscreen. Even if it's cold out, you need sunscreen. I'm telling you, the sun is unforgiving, and you don't want to, get skin cancer or a bad sunburn. Okay. Oh, make sure that you have the My Disney. Sorry, let me put this on. The My Disney Experience app downloaded on your device. You want to make sure you have that because that's going to have everything. It's going to have your tickets. It's going to have any reservations you have. You're going to do mobile ordering on that. You're going to do Lightning Lane, and you're going to do, you're going to get your virtual queues, and you can already say mobile ordering. You're going to have Photo Pass on that. What else? It's just everything. It can even be your hotel key. Last weekend, I used it for my hotel key. It was so cool, So it's even your hotel key. Or maybe 2 weeks ago that was. What else is it for? It's for everything. You can use it for everything. Let's see, your tickets, your and passes, reservations, Photo Pass, resort information. It's going to have wait times on it. Genie Plus. It's where you'll do mobile orders, virtual queues. It can, it's even your room key, which is the coolest thing. When I did that, I was like, blown. Oh, do your math. Depending on your length of stay, how many times you're going to go into the theme park, how many times you plan on visiting Walt Disney World in a 12-month period, it may be more economical, especially if you're a Florida resident. It may be more economical for you to just get an annual pass. So do your math, because one year we went, it was me, Eric, Marshall, and a friend of Marshall's. We just bought annual passes for everybody because our length of stay and how many times we were going to go to the park, the annual passes paid for themselves in that, because we would have spent as much, if not more, on tickets for individual days and adding on park hopper. So thank goodness back then they had Fast Pass. You didn't have to pay for it, but now you have to pay for it with Genie Plus and Lightning Lane. Or Lightning Lane, what is it called when they're the fancy rides for Lightning Lane? You have to pay, and you're going to pay anywhere from 15 to 25 upwards for those fancy rides, like Eric, Tron, Space Mountain, I think is a fancy ride. I think Seven Dwarfs Mine Train and Big Thunder Mountain might be fancy rides. The Guardians of the Galaxy is definitely a fancy ride. I think Remy might be a fancy ride. Hold on. I forgot already. That's the Star Wars one. See, this is why I forget everything. Rise of the Resistance. That is definitely a fancy ride. But we're going to talk more about Rise of the Resistance in a few minutes. Um, oh, if possible, take some time to resort hop. Like check out the resorts. Disney has at least 20 resorts to check out. My favorite is Animal Kingdom Lodge. If you're just resort hopping and you're visiting there, like park at Disney Springs, unless you're staying at a resort, then use the resort transportation. But I think that's only going to take you to the parks, so you may still have to go to Disney Springs and take Disney Springs transportation to the resorts. Check out Animal Kingdom Lodge is so great because you can walk out and you can see giraffes and some other animals, and they're really cool. You can see this and not even pay to go in the park. Um, and you can do that even if you're not staying in a resort. If you're like going to Disney Springs for the day, hop on a bus to, Animal Kingdom Lodge and check it out. Or I also love the Grand Floridian. It's so beautiful, and the Polynesian is really fun too. Go there, get yourself a Dole Whip. The Contemporary is really cool. Um, what else? The Wilderness Lodge. Eric loves the Wilderness Lodge, and there, just resort hop. Check out the campground. It's all so wonderful. The boardwalk is really neat, really really cool. So yeah, take advantage of the opportunity if you have time. Definitely resort hop. I would pick, like, if you have a couple extra days of just winding down and free time, but you want to do something. A lot of people would recommend Disney Springs, and while I love Disney Springs, I would do resort hopping before Disney Springs. That would just be my personal choice. Um, oh, and for the animal kingdom, if seeing animals, being active is really important to you, go. What? Did you knock? Anyway, if seeing animals is really important to you, like seeing them be active, go first thing in the morning on the Kilimanjaro safaris and the trails, because they'll be more active. They tend to be more active in the morning. And I heard in the evening when the park is getting ready to close, that's a good time too. Oh, sorry, Tina. Um, make dining reservations as far as in as far in make dining reservations as far in advance as possible, especially for Cinderella's Royal Table. Be our guest. Um, I've heard Tusker House is a tough one to get. Steakhouse 71, which I desperately want to go to. I have to try that burger. I've heard so many people talk about it. Um, Morimoto's Asia. Um, like a lot of most, I think all table restaurants take reservations, but I'm trying to give you the ones that you really need to make a reservation at if you want to eat there. Um, Art Smith's Homecoming, Le Cellier at Epcot. Did I say Tusker House? Tiffin's. There's so many. Just make your reservations far in advance, especially for character dining, and you have little kids, because character dining is going to be your opportunity to see characters, because some people don't want to waste their time waiting in long lines to meet characters at character meet and greets. But at character dining, you're gonna have your meal, and you're gonna have a great time meeting some characters. There's several character dining experiences I want to do the Crystal Palace at Magic Kingdom for breakfast, because then that's the 100 Acre Wood characters. So you got Tigger, Eeyore, Piglet, Winnie the Pooh. I've never had an opportunity to do a meet and greet with them, so that would be a really good opportunity there. I want to do Chef Mickey's. I've never done that one before, and I can't remember the name of it because my brain. But there's one at, I believe, the Riviera. I want to say the Riviera. It may not be the Riviera. I have it written down somewhere, but I want to do that one too. Um, oh, this one I'm going to need my glasses for because I have deep notes for. um, look into tours and programs. There'll be an add-on to your ticket. So there'll be like an experience at a park. So you'll have to have your park ticket. And it may seem like they're really expensive and overpriced, and they are, but a couple of them might surprise you at their price. Because there's a couple experiences that are $35. They're not as in depth, but still something to think about. Like Karen for Giants, which I really want to do. It's a 1 hour backstage experience where guests learn about caring for African elephants. So I plan to do that next time I go to Animal Kingdom. It costs about $35, maybe a little more, and plus the park ticket. I also want to do Savor the Savannah, and that's a private tour limited to 12 guests. It's about $175 per person and includes African inspired snacks and beverages and a gift. And there's also Wild African Trek. I'm all in on the Animal Kingdom ones. It's a 3 hour guided tour. It includes snacks and a gift. It's said to be pretty strenuous, so you must be in good health. And I believe they do weigh you before it because you do have to be strapped to things at certain points. It costs about $200, and I know that sounds expensive, but you get up close and personal. You don't get to touch them. You don't get dangerously close to them, but you get close to crocodiles, hippos. You get to climb over a treacherous bridge, maybe two of them, or maybe the same one twice. I'm not really sure. Um, what's that one? Hold on, I'm sorry. It says here that's a 5 hour tour. Oh no, no. That's a 3 hour guided tour. So the Keys to the Kingdom is a 5 hour tour of the Magic Kingdom, more like a backstage view. You get to see the utilidors, you get lunch, and that's about $115 per person plus theme park admission. And there are many more experiences, so research those. I want to do all of them. um, and this is the last one, and this is specific to Star Wars: Rise of the Resistance. I highly, 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 highly recommend getting a lightning lane as quickly as possible, as soon as possible, ASAP. Get that lightning lane. Now, you can do virtual queue. You got to get up at 7 o'clock in the morning, have everybody in your party on their phone trying to get that virtual queue. Virtual queue is not a fast pass, it's not a lightning lane. So it'll tell you when to return to the ride, when you're able to get on the queue, but you still might wait quite a while. So I just recommend that lightning lane because you don't want to piss away your entire day waiting for one ride. Now, my problems with lightning lane, and this was my issue with fast pass before, is my family has always had a route we followed in each park, which guaranteed we'd see everything we wanted to see. But I understand now it's time for me to be more flexible with that because as they add on to the park, it's more and more necessary to be flexible with, the way the park was in 1977 isn't the way it is now, and you've got to evolve with the changes of the park. So I understand that, but it really is a pain in the butt to be on one side of the park and then it's time for you to go get in your queue. You get your virtual queue message, and they do give you time to do it. But I mean, if you're the way the hell over at Pirates of the Caribbean and now it's time for you to get on your Tron queue, it's a lot. But I'm sure that somebody is working on improving that situation. I don't know, maybe not. Maybe they think it's perfect. Chapek, glad he's gone. But anyway, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it was helpful. If you have any questions about Disney World, ask them because I know a lot. I really do. I know a lot. But if I don't know the answer, I know people who do know the answer. So or I can direct you to a video of someone that provides great answers, Mammoth Club. But anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to everyone later. Bye.